Hey guys, how y'all doing? Let me know when you can hear me. We can get started. Yeah, but you guys can hear me. I take it. Sweet, awesome. All right, just something to address real quick, right? Had a couple comments on Twitter and whatnot, but as you guys can appreciate, right? Like our time and attention is going to go to the Game Edge community and to the paying members, and so we're posting our pre-market prep at 7 in the morning is when our data comes out. Everything at your fingertips. So yes, I know the time varies when we post on Twitter. If we post on Twitter, we don't have to post on Twitter if we don't want to. If we don't have time to post on Twitter, granted, we like to post on it because a lot of there's misinformation out there, and we just like people getting value from what we post. But as I've been telling people, you should not be relying on anyone posting on Twitter for your market information, right? So if you are reliant on Gamma Edge for posting on Twitter, I would just caution on that because there may be days when we don't post on Twitter, or we go to the beach, or we go on vacation, or whatever. So, but this information is always in the Discord. So, if you take that as a sales thing or whatever, that's fine. Like this is our YouTube stream at the end of the day, and we have to pay the AWS beast. But just wanted to be transparent about that. With that said, though, we can get started. I know it's 9:18. But yeah, we can go through 0DT stuff. We can go through swing stuff. If you guys have any questions, let me know. So yeah, Don, I'm just going through comments real quick. Yeah, I think I just addressed your question. Yeah, if you're reliant on the public information, then unfortunately you have nothing but to wait until we post it, if we post it. Daniel. If the transition zone is crossed, what is that indicative of? Are we still in the DS range at this point? If you can clarify what you mean by transition zone is crossed, I'm not totally following that comment. If you just put that in the comments, I'll come back to that when I get there. So yeah, we can get to meta in a little bit. Okay, so sorry, I'm sick, got a sore throat. So all right, SPX A, right? Just going through blocking and tackling, all that good stuff. So full complex again. This is your kind of longer term, slower moving capital. This is your monthly, your quarterly expirations. We're looking specifically at the upcoming monthly expiration here in 2 Fridays from now. So Paul, we can go over meta. I don't know why you deleted that comment, but that's fine. Anyways, key things to note, we're above the transition zone 66.65 key upside level. So we're above that. So I mean that's good. Net, right? Call dominated structure above the spot price. Not really a ton else to see here. So yeah, I mean, yeah, just writing down 66.65 somewhere, that's fine. Looking at the true zeros, trending higher, looks good. Looking at the GEX ratio, a little bit elevated up here at 1.38. No, day over day, just flat. Didn't really expand, but didn't contract either, so that's fine. Not a ton to say here. Like this is just trending higher, above 1, bullish. So that looks fine. Thing we'll just want to keep a note on if it really starts to get super elevated, which could argue kind of is starting to get a bit elevated. That just means that incremental call buyer who may not be there anymore needs to step in to help propel this higher. So kind of just situational awareness, so to speak. Right, as we say here, maybe experiencing short-term topping, normal for a Friday. Shouldn't be taken as should not be taken as short the market, right? Just being cautious, know if we're putting new swing longs on here. We've had a nice move. The tick model, right? We're bullish. Noted yesterday how our bullish momentum indicator, which is TC3. If you're not familiar with Game Edge, that probably sounds like gibberish to you. But that triggered yesterday, which triggers on our P Transit plus GEX strategy and our GE wheel strategy. Put a YouTube video on that last night, newsletter article last week. Any questions, let me know. But yeah, both of those systems are firing. In terms of, sorry, no, we'll get to that in the swing trading. Sorry, I'm getting off track here. Going back to the SPX, looking at our delta balance again, a feature of the options market is they're inherently forward-looking, right? Future at expiration, so we can understand how folks are positioned out in time. That's exactly what this is telling us. So everything is, above zero, which means it's call dominated. The net of the two above spot price and below spot price structures is the blue line that's pinned at 1, so that's fine. That's good. Move along. SPXP, full complex. Again, this is kind of your shorter term traders. This is your daily, your weekly expirations, all that good stuff. Again, call dominated above and below spot price, 6,700, top of the transition zone. DEX, GEX transition zones are the same, so confluence there, 5-point wide, as tight as you can get, so great to see. And again, really just maintaining this region is going to be important. Again, call dominated above and below spot price, 67.50, that's plus GEX, so right, that's kind of on a short-term basis, that's where the most speculation is centered around, the most convex stripe there, right? So if we get a move up to 67.50, that'd be obviously a great move. Maybe look for a little bit of monetization to happen there, as all those folks who put, the way to think about it is, all those speculators, when price was below 67.50, put their bets on at 67.50. They've now captured all of that out of the money risk. So those contracts are now at the money or maybe slightly in the money, right? And so the convexity has been achieved. Now it's not appreciating as fast, so it's kind of a natural spot where they may lock in some profits. However, if we see this level start to roll higher, again, that's them recommitting capital higher in the structure, which is constructive to see. So just have to pay attention to that. We went through all that stuff. Looking at the true zeros, right, those are flat day over day. We are above them, but right, generally we want to see these making new highs as price is making new highs. So again, potentially a little bit of topping here. Just, again, be cognizant of this. Right, the market, for the avoidance of doubt, market is bullish, right? But it can be bullish in the sense of, running a marathon. Is it at the end of the marathon or is it starting the marathon? So it could be kind of towards the end of the marathon. So just keep that in mind. At the end of the race, end of the sprint, whatever you want to call it. What else we got, right? Guess ratio, trending higher. Again, getting a bit elevated here at, almost 2. That's quite high. So just keep that in mind. Another way that we can visually see this is, I know I'm bouncing around, guys. If you have questions, just let me know, but I'm trying to cover a lot here. Looking out here, this is just another way of looking at the GEX ratio, 1.45, we're always been at 2, so, market, that's just, quite elevated, just all that. So yeah, again, just situational awareness, again. Delta balance pinned at 1 looks fine. All right, going to 0 DT now, right? It's what a lot of you guys are here for, so that's fine. But right, the swing trading kind of background should be clear. Like, let me know if it's clear in the chat. If it's not, happy to go over it again. But right, kind of what the tools are telling us is yes, we are bullish, but pretty bullish, right? Kind of towards the upper extreme of the bullish spectrum. So just kind of cautiously optimistic on, pressing new longs, all that good stuff. So if that makes sense, let me know. If not, I don't know. Silence, I guess, I assume you guys don't understand it. So 0 DTE stuff, right? Looking at the transitions again, 6,700, 6,695. That's the same transition zone. It's a full complex, so that's great to see. Clearly going to be an important level there. 6710, upper end of our drunken sailor range. 6675, lower end of our drunken sailor range. So all that means tying the top and the bottom of the drunken sailor range are kind of the first 2 key pillars in the structure where kind of goalposts or areas where it may be kind of hard to overtake that level without, kind of the presence of, speculation, intraday volume going in that direction. Another way to think about it is from the transition zones moving higher, think of it as like a boulder being pushed up a hill, which we look at through our synthetic net open interest column right here. And so, right, you can see from the transition zones, kind of that first peak is 1737. That's just the number of, net open contracts there. So the boulder is being pushed up that hill. And so we need to get that boulder up and over the hill to then start rolling down again. So it's going to take, participation from the market itself to help us get over that point. So that's just kind of a way to think about it. And then, right, once we get over that level, I mean, it's really from there just as high as the market wants to take us. Obviously, 67.25 and 50 large strikes. So again, those are another large pillars where we need to see just a continuation of buying occur in the market. So, ideally, we're seeing filtered tick buying from the market trend model. We're seeing our intraday volume analysis, that call speculation trending higher. Let me just show you what that looks like. This is the tool. Right, so here's the tool, right? Yesterday was more of a chop day, but we want to see, call speculation moving higher, put speculation moving higher, all that good stuff. Or if you're bearish, you want to see the opposite. You want to see it moving lower. And let's look to see where we're at in the pre-market. A little bit of a sell-off. Just from the peak, right? But whatever. So we're at 67.23. So we're gonna be opening above. So that's good, right? Just want to see 15 hold. Looking at our net stat command, right? This is just a summary of our 3D surface models for all the 4 key Greeks. Right? If you guys want to look at those surface models, we obviously have them, but some people find those challenging to look at. Not a problem. That's why we produce this. So what this is simply telling us is looking at the left-hand plane, right-hand plane strikes. You can think of that as kind of the large peaks on a 3D surface model. Then the integrals is the sum of that Greek above spot price and below spot price. So that's how you get that. So basically, left-hand plane, that's below spot price. That's summing all deltas below spot price. Right-hand plane, summing all deltas above spot price. Another way to see that is, right, if we're just summing all deltas above spot price, all deltas below spot price, that is how you get that. So, right, call dominated, that's simply what that's showing us. We have positive charm, good to see. Vanna, if volatility spikes, we see a down movement. Vanna could help contribute to kind of exacerbation of a downward move. What else we got? Market just opens, so that's cool. But yeah, that's really everything 0DTE. Obviously, we have all these key levels here. All these key levels. Cool, I got filled on a position. Good to see. All these key levels, though, if-then statements for 0DT, so feel free to read that. I'm going to move on to swing trading now. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Kind of know I rushed through that, but is what it is. So when it comes to swing trading, right, there's 3 key pillars we have at Game Edge. There is obviously, it starts with the pre-market prep we just went through, right? Understanding full complex, what that looks like. Market trend model, what that looks like. Everything's bullish right now. So as I said, our P-Trans plus GEX strategy is turned on. Entering trades, AVGO, BA, Google, these were all valid entry candidates at the open. Those trades set to close, J&J and JPM if you're in those positions. Here's what our portfolio looks like right now. It's fully allocated. This is one we've been running live since July of 2023. You can see all the stats, high win rate strategy, positive expectancy, aligns with the back testing, all that good stuff. Get a GameEdge.us, go to free courses, GameEdge FastPass, walks you through everything, right? So if you're not familiar with GameEdge, not familiar with option market structure analysis, this is everything a paid member gets. So you get all the education, all the tools, all the frameworks, all that good stuff. So if any of this piques your interest, I'd recommend you giving that a go. Going to help accelerate your learning curve. So we have the P2P strategy. We have the wheel strategy, right? Did a video on that last night. Did a newsletter. But, right, the wheel option strategy is nothing new, So we just simply put a game edge flair to it, which is where we incorporate options market analysis. Winning those call-dominated stocks, we apply momentum to it as well. So the Minervini trend template, just finding those institutional quality momentum names. And that's really how we go about identifying those candidates through our proprietary scans. All this is automatically done for you. So, 80+% win rate strategy, 2.5x profit factor, less than 10% assignment rate, all that good stuff. And then we have, just in the swing game plan, we just have just some other discretionary lists that I put together, I provide. Here's a useful kind of, scatter plot I'm working on building. So what this is distance to p-trans and then distance to plus gex. So the higher up on the y-axis means the further to plus gex, which is a profit target. The closer to the center is the closer to p-trans, which is kind of our entry level. So kind of want to be looking at like these stocks right here that have good risk to reward, like Dow, Google, AVGO. Right, you guys kind of get it. It's just a helpful way to look at stocks. And aside from the watch list as well. So let me get together let me update with the new script real quick. I haven't done this yet today. So we'll go here. So see you guys, updating the scripts super easy. Yeah, so let's look at a couple of names. UNH, nice move again today. That's a name that we've been in. SoundHound AI, this was the name we got in 2 days ago, so caught that nice move yesterday. Again, just from the scans that we're looking at, Palantir, name that we're in, that's fine, it's pulling back, like not a big deal. Open list. Sorry, I gotta bring in the watch list from today, I haven't done that yet. Alright, so here we go. Alright, so whatever. Paul wanted to look at Meta. Meta looks like crap. I think Metas look like garbage. Yeah, I'm not super high on Meta right now, so I wouldn't. We put out a tweet the other day about showing Meta, what Meta looked like compared to, which was kind of nasty, put dominator structure relative to whatever, maybe Palantir or whatever. Oops. Yeah, just notice how this is all green. Meta was like a lot of red, so a lot of put speculation in that name, so just something to be cognizant of there. What another one was the Ethereum Trust. Yeah, price action wise looks good. Yeah, it looks fine, right? This is so long as it holds 32. 35 kind of short-term, near-term profit target. So, I mean, unfortunately, not a ton of room to the upside, but yeah, I mean, looks fine. Call dominated, all that good stuff. USAR, U.S. Earth Rare. I mean, I don't even know if they have enough options. USAR. 300,000. Oh, this thing, I mean, this thing's massively overextended just from looking at this, right? Like 20 is where the most upside speculation is centered. Transition zone is 17, so pretty extended right now. Not to say it can't go higher, just if you're looking for new positions, that's how I think about it. And yeah, looks like it had a pretty nice run the last couple of days. Structure hasn't necessarily caught up. Rivian. Yeah, price action wise doesn't look that great. Looking at its structure. Yeah, I mean, not ideal. Ideally, it gets above 15. Yeah, I mean, it's flirting with negative gex right now. So yeah, I mean, just not a great name right now. Good candidate for a pullback on USAR then. I mean, sure, I'm not really one to mess with parabolic names. So if you want to try and guess where a pullback's going to happen, go for it, but that's kind of one I'm just not really interested in. Doesn't mean you can't trade it. That's just not a name, not a kind of stock that I like to trade. Dollar Tree. I mean, this looks like garbage. Just looking at the price action, like lower lows, lower highs, that's a downtrend for you. Damn, why do I keep doing that? DLTR. Yeah, I mean, it's put dominated, like, the leash. I don't know what else you want me to tell you. 90 is pretty big level here, so if it was going to find support somewhere, it would be here, but I'm not really banking on that, so. Let's see what else we got. ONDS. Yeah, I mean, I've honestly never even heard of this stock. 3 billion market cap. I don't mess with that. Like, we're primarily focused with the largest, most liquid names, just because they have the best options markets. They're not gonna, subject to gapping up or down 10%, 25%. So, not to say you can't trade these names, but that's just not something I would be. So I can't even spell it right. ODNS. What is it? ONDS. ONDS. Yeah, this isn't even in our system, so like it doesn't even have probably a very big options market. Which that's fine, you can trade that, no worries, but I'm just saying that's just not a name that we would ever find. So yeah, looking at, so this bull list below P-trans, these are names that are above 0 gex but below P-trans. Again, all this is explained in the Game Edge Fast Pass, or if you simply just go to our chat bot, which is in the web app, you can ask it these questions too, and I'll give you the answer. Hertz. Interesting. This thing must have a big options market. HTZ. It does. I have a million options in there, but it's kind of a garbage stock. Yeah, I mean, just looking at these names, these don't look very interesting to me. Love making a nice move. And a lot of nice action last couple of days within the transition zone, and then, I mean, just a classic move right out of the transition zone, so makes sense there. SPX is not real. Intel, massive move. Oh, Oracle may be setting up. Keep that on the watch list. Oh. Peter wants to look at QQQ. Yeah, QQQ looks fine. I mean, above the transition zone. Speculation up to 610. I mean, keep in mind the largest absolute speculative position is at 600, which is below spot price. So there's a risk there that gets monetized, introduces some selling flows. But looking at 0 DT structure, I mean, 610 is certainly being targeted to the upside. So if we move up to 610, would not be surprised to see if we get some stalling or stuff. But net, I mean, looks fine, looks bullish. So just needs to hold 606. So, all right, guys. Well, with that, I'm gonna cut it there. We've been going for 30 minutes almost. I'm gonna get back into the Discord. So if you guys have more questions, we'll be back in the Discord. Hit me up in the Swing channel or 0 DT, whatever. So. Paul should be in there as well, going through all the 0 DT stuff, and we'll go from there. So, you guys have a great day. We'll talk to you later. Thank you.